wrestler to impersonate in the opening.
It's just started.
Has it?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Are You Ready podcast
Oh, well.
with myself, William Thompson, and of course, Mr. Dave Elliott,
Yeah.
dressed like you're about to give a trucker to a hand job. This has been exemplary for me.
You're over there dressed like a hand job and a guy in a truck.
I'm like JR when the Bell's palsy strikes.
You're like JR after a stroke. Tell me a wrestler to impersonate. I don't know. Eugene, you did a good example of there. Hey, welcome to the show.
That's Jake Roberts when he's a big alcoholic. That's what that was.
Oh, I did a wee storyline of him, isn't it? But we're not talking about Jake Roberts today. What are we talking about?
I'll tell you what we're talking about, because you said in a few episodes ago you love big, sweaty men. You like big men slapping meat. That's why you watch wrestling.
Yes.
Today we're talking about the biggest men, the tallest men, the heaviest men, the fattest men in wrestling.
I mean, I just want to point out I do prefer a more chiseled physique to look at. I like a honed physique, but I also like the spectacle of big, fat, tall freaks.
Oh, yeah. And their wrestling is absolutely abundant with big, fat, tall freaks.
Like, some might say that wrestling over the years, when it started off, people took it a bit too serious. It was realistic. You know, they were like, this is all real. People didn't believe it was a sport. Yeah. And then they sort of realised, people like Bob Backlund, no one cares. You know, really. It's like, they're boring, those kind of guys. Yeah. We need freaks. Let's go to the fairground. We need Big
Daddy V.
Let's get freaks. Let's take them out of their cages where they lived in, because that used to happen. True. Anyone that was like a freak or like a big monster or disabled or something, people would go around and collect them, put them in the back of their wee wagons and drive them around to fairs and fetes. And just
I've seen The Greatest Showman. I know what they did.
Hey, but people think nowadays you couldn't get away with it nowadays. But thankfully, things are swings around.
Collecting disabled people.
Yeah,
you say that like it's a bad thing.
Listen, everything goes in swings around. It all comes full circle.
That's what One L Studios did with me. They just dragged me in there like, you're doing podcasts all the time.
You were late for the first couple of episodes that we did, and then every single week since, you've just been here as if literally they've just released you from a trap.
Yeah. Fosty's the PB Barnum of the podcasts.
Yeah, the witch.
PB Barnum.
It's a Ripley, I believe it or not, look what we have. And I suppose, see, actually, if you think about the people that do work with One L Studios, a lot of them are freaks. A lot of them are weird guys you could put at a fairground.
Yeah.
You know?
Me, you.
Yeah, Kieran.
Shane.
Yeah. The man with the world's longest fingers.
Yeah,
Shane. Yeah,
Kieran's amazing tiny hands.
There you go. Yeah,
Butler, come see the gayest straight man in the world.
Yeah. With the most natural hair you're ever going to see.
Come see the whitest man that dresses like Eddie Murphy in the 80s.
Yeah, whenever he went to school. Because why does he always wear school trousers? Anyway, we digress.
But yes, big fat sweaty bastards is our MO for today. And the first one comes to my mind. I have a list. I have a list of the actual 10 heaviest.
Well, what I think, the bar of big has always been in wrestling, Andre the Giant. Yeah. He's always been the first big freak that people looked at and went, he was probably the first mainstream one that people were like, look at that big monster there. Yeah. And everyone said,
you think he was the first?
Well, I think, am I wrong?
Oh, you're very wrong.
What I do want to point out about Andre the Giant, it was only recently that I discovered that when they billed where he was from, that he was from Grenoble. Yeah. I thought they were like from Chernobyl, and then just this big freak guy, and they're like, Andre the Giant.
I thought he was from Grenoble, France.
Yeah.
So he's just eating loads of trail mix bars, and that's why he's so big.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the deal is with him, but I thought...
I know it's gigantism of the face and hands.
And how do you get there?
How do you
Are you born that way, or do you take... Because there's a bodybuilder, Rich Piana, who just was a normal dude, and he took human growth hormone, testosterone, the works, and then he was like, yeah, my muscles are massive, but on the downside of that, my hands have got bigger, my skulls got bigger, my brain, my heart, my liver's just expanded, and there's no room for it anymore.
No, Andre just had a very debilitating lifetime disease.
Like just serious long-term puberty?
Yeah, long-term puberty,
just
that's one way of putting it.
Continual puberty,
yeah. I think he was about 7'6" by the time he was 14.
Yeah, but imagine the pipe he has on him.
You'd be real. You know what? Babies. He could have a 2-foot dick and it would still look small on him. That's tragic in and of itself.
Why didn't he do porn, like?
Because he'd kill every woman he fucked.
Well, I mean...
A beer can would be like one of these bottles of water in my hand.
He was big on the booze too when he enjoyed his sup.
He would drink 2 cases of wine before a match. And he would literally just pick them up and like chug them.
what the balls of wine are the opponents.
Apparently, if he didn't like you, the only way he'd do that we move where he would like sit in your chest.
Yes.
If he didn't like you, he would just sit down and fart on you. And you couldn't do anything about it.
But he was a freak guy in his hands.
Yeah.
Were like bear's mitts, weren't they?
And do you know the movie he was in with Billy Crystal?
No.
The Princess Bride?
Oh, yeah, I've never seen it, but I know of it.
Apparently, he loved that movie so much, he made people, like, if they were traveling with him, they had to sit down and watch it with him. And once it ended, he's like, again. Could
he speak English?
Yeah. Like broken English?
Monsieur, encore une fois, s'il vous plaît.
That's a different song, but...
But here's the thing, too. Like, you forget throughout history because everyone just loves him so much. Vince loved him. Like Vince, he's like one. Like did Vince cry and all?
He was special.
Yeah, and didn't he do an interview about him recently? And he broke down.
He was special.
Yeah,
it was 78-year-old feral Gould Vince.
Yeah,
we're still walking like he's got the strut, but like his skin's melting off his cheekbones. Yeah. I can't recall the last conversation I had with that individual.
Yeah, I bet it was something like this. Andre, and he's like, "Je m'en t'appelle tu?" And it's like,
yeah.
Fuck. You know, but he loved him so much. But the thing about it is, you forget that was he any good in the ring? I've never seen any of his matches.
The cunt was fucking 9 feet tall and could do a drop kick.
Wow.
When he was younger, he was good. By the time he got big in the WWF, like where everyone remembers him, he could barely move.
Because towards the end, when he had the long hair and the big gut, he looks like me needing the piss during the night. Like the way he walks, like fucking asleep, falling over.
He literally, like, he'll get punched in the ring and he'll be like, ugh. The famous match of Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3.
When he power slammed him?
Yeah. That is the worst fucking match I've ever seen. It's 20 minutes of Hulk Hogan doing this and Andre being like,
oh.
And then Andre doing like paintbrush slaps where he's clearly not touching him. It is the worst match ever.
But oddly, one of the most iconic.
Yeah, because he has that big slam.
But it's like the Hell in a Cell, with the Undertaker and Mankind. It's viewed as like one of the
not a great match, but it's one of the most
just
famous
the guy
visuals.
Being really hurt a lot. It's like 4 moves in that match, just him being really hurt every time.
It's just watching a guy hurt himself for 20 years.
Yeah,
back to back.
That was good old times.
Yeah, so but Andre the Giant's probably the most famous. Do you think he's the heaviest ever?
I have, believe it or not, have done a wee bit of research on this, and I know he is not the heaviest. But if we're talking big and heavy too. So he was probably one of the height and width. But there's some fatty bum bums.
I've only looked up the heaviest. That's all I have.
Right, so you're talking.
I'm going fatty bum bums. Hey, fatty bum bum. That's what I went for today.
Right, okay. Well, you hit me up with the first fatty bum bum, please.
The first fatty bum bum. Now, this guy is technically a wrestler. He was a sumo wrestler, but he did wrestle at WrestleMania. He faced the Big Show in a sumo match.
Aki Bono?
Aki Bono.
Oh, man.
And if you've never seen that match, don't watch it with your dinner or while eating jelly.
Yeah, because didn't Big Show wear a thong for it?
They both wear thongs, and it's just two fat cunts in a thong.
Yeah, I mean...
Which is the name of my folk group.
Yeah. The big Show, he gets mugged, like, doesn't he, at WrestleMania? Again, because he's one of the big friggin' freak guys. Like, he's probably the best freak since Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
And
that's how he came in. He was initially Andre the Giant's son.
Just because he had puberty still. Like.
He also had gigantism, yeah. Although he had the surgery that, whatever it did, like, removed the gland.
Yeah, because he has what I would call a normal-ish face. He doesn't have the face that Andre has, and like the Giant Gonzalez and all, like big jaws, and like Big Show's kind of a good-looking freak,
Yeah, he's not bad. He just looks like a very tall UDA man.
Yeah, he looks like Harry Kane, a big fat bald Harry Kane.
yeah.
He's that big like tongue thing Harry Kane is going on.
I think he still has the Giant's appetite. This Big Show though.
Mm-hmm.
There's multiple times in WWE. I think about 3 times. There's one time. They would just catch him eating all the time. Like he'd be sitting eating burgers, and JR would have to go in and have a meeting with him, and be like, "You're a fat fucker. You need to stop eating burgers." And they sent him down to OVW to lose weight, and he came back heavier than he was when he left.
But he did. But like at the minute, he's old and he's in great shape. Like he's skinny
ripped as fuck.
Really again.
Yeah. But number 10 on the list, a big fat boy, Aki Bono.
Yeah.
The rest are wrestlers that we know. Well, kind of.
Yeah, there's a few in there. Like I sometimes this is what I enjoy about this podcast as well. You really learn things, which is a great time. Like, he's looking back through history of some of these freaks, amazing. And you got to enjoy the fact that how some of them can like be wrestlers and not just guys that stand there and be like buildings, because some of them are too big. And how they like, I'd like to see some of their movements.
You're like, you should be a building.
Yeah, people should live in you because you're not mobile at all. The structure's there, and you can't move.
Not just living inside the Great Khali.
I know. Sorry, you're a building now. What?
Is that the Great Khali?
Yeah,
that's Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump. Donald Trump's big into real estate, so he'd be like, "I like it. I love it. You're the
I
best
own
building."
his knees. I own the best knees.
But he was a guy, like the Great Khali.
Make Khali great again.
He was. There you go. That's how you bring him in. How you bring Trump back to WWE. He should just give up the presidency stuff. It's not working for him.
Come back as a WWE manager
in the WWE
again.
And manage. Yeah, make the Great Khali. make Khali great again and be a great character.
We'll go on to number 9 on the list.
Okay.
I forgot to give you Akibono's weight. 514 pounds.
So and he's the lightest on the list.
He's the lightest. Now I'm gonna get up a converter because I don't know what pounds are. Apart from the money.
Yeah. Oh, and you know plenty of that.
I don't. I wish I did.
233 kilograms. Wow, which is what in stones?
In stones. How many Michael Stones? 36 and a half Michael Stones is Akibono.
That's a hefty boy. Yeah, I tell you one thing, he'd struggle getting through the rotating doors at Stormont, that's for sure. Like fucking Akibono, just leaving.
So the lightest on this is 36 and a half stone.
Now who's heavier than that?
Number 9, surprisingly, he's this high up on the list, is our boy, Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant is number 9.
He's number 9.
Wow.
I'm telling you, we're getting deep inside the crevice of some fat bastards today.
And there's going to be big boys.
Absolutely.
Like he's big and fat.
Yep. A lot of big Just Eat orders are coming up here.
Whenever you're telling this weight, are these the highest? Or are they like... Because you could have big shows like, 28 stone or something now? Or 40?
I'm giving you their peak weight, the highest they ever were.
Nice.
Before I get to number 1, what do you think number 1 weighed at their peak?
Number 1 weighed 800 pounds.
800 pounds, okay. We'll come back to that at the end, see if you're right.
I'm predicting it, I'm see.
But yeah, Jesus.
There you go, I'm going to stick with it, 57 stone.
Jesus fucking Christ. At what point when you hit the 48 stone mark do you go, maybe I should run a bit?
Yeah.
When you're a professional athlete.
But that's what I always think as well. You know those people...
When you're out weighing horses.
You know the people who are in their house and they can't... Like, the moment for me would be like, it's a bit sore getting out of my seat. Yeah. I'd be like, well, maybe I need to look at things. Yeah. But there are people who are like, I now don't watch TV on the sofa. I live in my bed. Yeah.
Should Andre the Giant have went to that wee doctor from My 500 Pound Life?
Yeah.
I tell you the problem, Andre, is you're eating too much.
Have you seen the guy going about? He did like that. That's
a great impression of that guy.
It was a diet show on Channel 5. And he was just, and it was like in maybe the early noughties.
Those were mine.
And he would come in, he'd be like,
look at the size of this fat bastard.
So he would come in, and he was quite campy. He'd go, today I'm meeting 2 big fat sisters, 2 big fatty bums. And
look at this wobbly bitch.
Yeah, if you can find.
He'll go through the fridge.
Yeah, and he goes, fatty.
Any wonder you're a fat cunt. Look at all the coke you have in here.
Please, can you guys find that if you can, that clip, because it was one of the best. Funniest things, and I mean, you can see why people maybe had problems with their weight. You know, it was so funny, and it was like a minute of just him roasting fat people.
Yeah,
who's trying to help.
Like I felt self-conscious because first time in a shop today, I was getting clothes, and it was a very small fitting like shirt. Their sizes are small.
Leather.
I had to get XL. And I imagine how bad I would have felt if someone would have came in and went, look at this little fat bastard putting on an XL.
Yeah, I imagine it worse if it was David Bowie. Little fat man with a pug-nosed face.
That is me, yeah. I have Ricky Gervais's face. Little fat man, he sold his soul.
Yeah, that's one of the best things.
Pug.
I love it. What does he say? Sorry, little fat man.
He sold his soul for a shot at fame. Wigs are still and the jokes are lame. See his pug-nosed face. Pug. So yeah, number 9 is Andre the Giant.
But let me just point out, I want to get to your defense a little bit here too, because I do think nowadays they make clothes even like there's no general size of clothes at all.
Yeah.
Like they can just call something an XL, but really it's a medium. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, I do wear. At the minute, a tight medium, but that's why XL. I was like, I'm not happy about.
But that's, I mean, look at what I'm wearing. I'm not a style guy by any stretch.
Oh, absolutely. You
but
look like you're on Deadliest Catch right now.
I know, but guess what?
You look like the cameraman for Pedo Hunters.
Exactly. So it might be stylish, but I'm functional. I'm already ready to go. But the point is, don't worry about it, because fashion nowadays, people wear big baggy things and try to be all like lit and shit. Don't they?
You taking lessons from Gady?
Yep, I'm taking lessons from a boy. Respect as usual. So people are trying to be lit, but
yeah.
Oh,
so now you won't know all of these wrestlers.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
So no, because I don't know most of them.
Right. Okay. Let's see then.
But do you have any fat boys that you want to talk about while I go through the list?
I feel like some of the fat boys that I want to talk about aren't like, they're skinny and almost, but they're wrestlers who you would look at and go, they're fat, but they're great. One of our most talked about guys, Rikishi.
Yeah,
he's a fat guy. Like, he'd be lighter than Andre the Giant.
Is he fat or is he Samoan fat, which is different?
Well, it's still fat.
Because all Samoans are kind of chunky.
But the thing about Rikishi's fat, he's got a big old hoop on him, like.
He does, but he's Samoan fat. Like, they all have that. They're not chiseled guys.
They just look. But then you look at Roman Reigns, he's Samoan. Look at The Rock, he's Samoan.
The Rock used to be a wee chunky bastard.
But he was definitely not. Like, Rikishi looks like a 40-year-old ma from bloody Orlando.
Which isn't bad, he's 52.
Yeah, but the thing about it, which in Samoan years is what, like 208? Because, like, you think, like, Umaga, he died when he was like 38 or something.
Yeah.
Rosie, he's
Rosie,
dead. He's
Umaga's brother.
Samoan. Yokozuna died when he's 34. I'm older than Yokozuna. Isn't that mental?
That is mental. I think he comes up here later on. I'll
like
go more into the story of Yokozuna, because I know a lot about how he died.
Well, nice. Because I actually carried out the autopsy on him. I like that, William. But what I want to say before we leave off Rikishi, he's an example to everybody out there. People who maybe feel down in their luck or feel like you have a goal in life that you want to get to, but you've not quite got it yet. Rikishi should be a motivation to these kind of people, because Rikishi is a prime example. If you keep throwing shit at the wall, eventually something will stick.
Or if you keep throwing your arse in people's faces, eventually it'll catch on.
There you go.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, but you're the reverse of that. You keep eating ass and hopefully find the wall. Oh, never do that again.
I'm Rikishi's worst enemy.
Yeah.
I'm saying, all right.
You'd be the one to defeat him. You'd be lying in the corner like, what was he called?
Rico?
No, what's the other wee guy called he was like a wee redneck guy? Jimmy
Noble?
Yeah, whenever Tori Wilson was doing it, and he was like, But Rikishi had so many, like, we spoke about him. What was his name? We said he was known as before. Make a Difference Fatu.
Make a Difference Fatu, where he would go to the ghetto.
Yeah, and just try to improve people's lives. You know what all his gimmicks were? You'll enjoy this. When he was known as Alofa, the Polynesian Prince.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, Alofa, the Polynesian Prince, and then Head Shrinker Fatu.
Yeah,
the Sultan.
He was the Sultan. Yes.
Yep. J.R. Smooth.
I've never heard of the J. What was J.R. Smooth?
I assume it's Junior Rikishi Smooth.
Right.
Junior Fatu, Salofa Fatu, Make a Difference Fatu, Rikishi Fatu, and this is my personal favorite, Hustle Rikishi. So, like, he just did all these names and finally stuck at Rikishi, and that's the most Vince.
Was Hustle
McMahon.
Rikishi after he ran over Stone Cold?
I think so.
I was like, I'm a bad man.
Yeah.
Put a gun in a boy's mouth.
And it's like, what?
You're shooting children, Rikishi.
Yeah, with my farts.
It was so weird when he became a bad guy, because he used to go about being like, I'm gonna fucking put my ass in your face, they don't dance. And then he's going about being like, I run over people and shoot children.
And wear really big leather trousers. Like, it was a weird vibe.
He was a bad guy because he's wearing sunglasses now.
But you know what I like? He was, as a chubby guy growing up, Rikishi was always goals for me, because he would just run around fat but with no shirt on. He just wore those, those like shell necklaces and a big, like, what's that brand called that Ali G always used to wear? Fubu?
I don't know.
The big fucking Fubu leather jacket and sunglasses. Which is weird, because when he put sunglasses on when he was in Too Cool, he couldn't help but fucking break
He wore that
shapes.
big yellow coat. He looked like a big fucking New York taxi.
And he was just Hustle Rikishi. which was just a mental thing altogether. But the thing what I like about that is too, Vince McMahon has a thing. Vince McMahon is one of the most racist guys throughout any gimmicks. Yokozuna, Samoan, you're like, you're really fat. Japanese.
You're a Yokozuna wrestler.
And then, like, with
look at the tits on that guy.
Rikishi comes back from being a head shrinker to be like, you put on some weight. Japanese, get you in a thong. Here's those fat guys in thongs. That's
I want to see that guy's ass.
Yeah, and straight in.
Yeah.
And it's that I think that segues well into Yokozuna, who was a cousin of Rikishi.
He was, but he comes up in the list later. We will get on the...
Oh, he's heavier. Who's next?
I'm trying to see where he comes up in the list. He's up there.
He's up there, so we'll hold it out. Who's next?
Hold up. Up next is Man Mountain Mike.
I mean, that just sounds like a guy you'd meet in Grindr. Hey, I'm Mad Mountain Mike. I'm just interested in basically bottoming.
Yeah.
That's it. Just bottoming.
Doesn't sound like a wrestler. Sounds like a guy who wants pissed on in a public toilet.
It definitely sounds like a guy that you'd see at a bathhouse. Man Mountain Mike. And he just doesn't move. He just sits in the sauna, turgid, and you just go in and sit on him like a seat. Do your business, and he busts. And you fart his babies out, and you go home. You
have such an in-depth knowledge of what happens on Grindr. Are you on Grindr as Trucker Dave?
I'm just coughing up more jizz there. Don't hit the bear.
If I go on the Grindr, will I find Zen Dave?
No, you will find Man Mountain Mike. Yeah.
Man Mountain Mike. He was never in the WWF back in the day. It's when Vince Dad owned it.
All the W's.
Yeah, but he was a household name in Florida and the AWA. Always took part in battle royals. He always won because no one is lifting this fat fuck out. I'll show you a photo of him, then you tell me how much you think he weighs.
Oh wow! I mean, Man Mountain Mike, he weirdly looks like who's that comedian that does the Hot Water podcast? Jimmy.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Hutchinson.
He looks like Jimmy Hutchinson if he just let himself go. But Man Mountain Mike, to me, if he's heavier, he's heavier. He must be, I'll say, 580 pounds.
580? 600 pounds.
Oh, man.
Which we're going to put that through the converter.
Which is, this is great. This is a miles episode.
43 stone.
Can we get to play in the background every time we say it? You know when Roy Chubby Brown comes on stage, you fat bastard, get that playing every time. You fat bastard.
I want a big display that, like, when the lottery has a rollover.
Yeah.
Just comes up with a weight. 43 stone.
You know what would really take this episode on a massive downturn and make things just really sad? We should just at the end of each one go dead or alive. Are they dead or are they alive?
Oh, here, it's going to be a very one-sided list. Because they're all dead as fuck.
Yeah. Man Mountain Mike, he's not
82 stone guy, dead or... 82 stone guy who wrestled in the 30s, dead or alive.
Means like, surprisingly enough, he's
alive. This is very much an in memoriam fat cunt list.
Yeah, he's just living in Malaya in a caravan these days.
I mean,
his own business.
I'll let you guess if our next guy, Blimp Levy, is still alive.
Oh, Blimp Levy looks exactly like the Jan Gonzalez. If you mixed him with me.
If you mix him with Jordy Robinson, that's the Blimp Levy.
So what's the story of Blimp Levy?
Blimp Levy, so he was a big wrestler in the 1930s and 40s. He was very much the first giant of wrestling.
Is he big or just fat? I'm spitting all over you. I'm frothing at the mouth. I get so excited.
He's fat.
Is he fat?
You're talking about pissing on people on toilets or spit. It's a very kinky deal we've got today.
I know. Listen, I'm living my best life, and it's very sexual.
He was around the time of, you know, the original Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers, Gorgeous George. He actually wrestled until 1951. And
then what? Did he retire or die?
No, he retired. So before he was a wrestler, he worked as a fat man in a sideshow in Coney Island. Imagine that being your job. I was like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a construction worker. What are you? I'm a fat man.
The fat man of Coney Island. It's like, but then it's so sly. See when you go to
that sounds like a Scooby-Doo villain.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be easy to escape and can't catch. Like, who is it?
He's not Fat Albert.
Yeah. But see, the fat men of Coney Island.
Hey.
Do they all have to hang out together? Like the fat man, the bearded woman, the wee dwarf people, do they all have to hang out together and just like go to like cafes and stuff?
Yeah, I'd imagine.
That'd be so shit.
They're all working together, so I assume they're all going to eat together.
But then it's like, what are their skills? Oh, we just stand there and people, like the Elephant Man, he was at those events and they're like...
Yeah, he didn't have skills.
Go and look at this guy. I would ask for my money back every time if I went to go and see Elephant Man and be like, doesn't look like an elephant.
He did.
He doesn't. He looks like a stone. Like, tell me he's Stone Man. There's no trunk. Like, if I'm seeing an elephant, I want to see big ears. Not a guy going, I'm a human being, and I look like a fucking coral.
Yeah, I don't want to see a crying man.
Yeah, exactly. What the?
I'm just seeing a very depressed man about his appearance.
Like, look at him. He just looks like a fungi growth. He's not an elephant. I want to see a man that's fucking 12 feet tall with ears and a trunk. That's what I want to see.
You want to see a man with tusks?
Yeah, I want to see a man with tusks.
Yeah,
and then you could be an elephant man, just not a freak, a beetle or something.
Stop calling him a freak.
Oh, I mean, is he a normal dude?
Yes, he's a human being. He's not an animal.
Well, he's not. He's Joseph Merrick and he's dead.
Yes, but other people have that affliction.
Yeah, just call him Joe. Don't call him Elephant Man. Like, who's to say?
I didn't.
Yeah, and then
I didn't run the career of Joseph Merrick.
Like, you be his like agent, because clearly someone's had to sign him up. Someone's walked past in the street, right? I'll be Joseph, and I come in for a meeting with you. Yeah. And I'll do his voice. Why did you want to have a meeting with me?
So, Joe, you want to make it in the big time, yeah? You want to make it in the pictures?
I just want to be happy.
How about you be a freak in a sideshow on Coney Island? It's you, the fat man, the two dwarfs.
What's the fee? What do I need to do?
You get to keep the food they throw at you.
Deal. And then he just put him in a big fucking muslin bag and send him out as if people won't notice him. He just
muslin bag?
No, a muslin. It's a type of fabric.
I thought you
not
said
a muslin bag.
I thought you said a muslin bag.
No, a muslin. I
was like, I missed this part of the Elephant Man where he converts to Islam halfway through.
That would be a great twist in the story, wouldn't it?
He just goes. He finds Allah halfway through. So you're looking at Blimp Levy. How much do you think he weighs?
How heavy is the last one? We said
600 pounds.
600. Well, Blimp Levy's gonna be 610.
No.
Oh no.
Up.
How the frig are these guys jumping so much?
And we're only on number 6.
Wowie. Well, I'm gonna be right. 800 pounds. Gonna be close to the top.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah.
It was 642, which is 45 stone.
Nice. That's impressive.
And he actually lived until he was 58.
That's a long time for Blimp Levy. He didn't look too tall.
No, he was very much round. He was like a big grape.
You know what?
You don't get the name Blimp Levy for being very tall.
No, but you should be called the Grape Man, shouldn't you?
No, the Blimp's better.
The Blimp Levy.
The Grape!
But you can paint them green.
Come out with a big carton of Ribena.
Yeah. Oh no, that would scare the grape. That would be the enemy. You'd have the grape match, the Ribena match. You'd get the grapes and crush them.
I thought we'd have to throw him a big pool of Ribena.
Yeah.
Which I'd lose that match all the time.
Yeah, it'd be great. Like, remember, didn't Chris Jericho have a match with Orange Cassidy? It was like a...
Had to throw him in a big carton of oranges?
No, yeah. But what was it? It was like what's the drink called?
Mimosa.
Mimosa, yeah. The mimosa match.
That wasn't when Jericho was in his peak alcoholic phase.
Oh, Jericho.
I got a match for you, baby. You throw me in some fucking wine.
The mimosa match. And he lost it, didn't he, Jericho?
Of course he fucking did. Oh no, I'm falling in his big vat of alcohol.
Oh, Jericho's the best.
Now, we're only on number 6 of the all-time fattest.
Are there any more people on there that we're going to know? Because Blimp Levy's been a bit of a surprise.
There's a few you'll know.
Because I want to talk about some people not just on the list.
That's what.
Let's talk about the big...
Interject at any point.
What about Big Van Vader? He was a fat guy, but he was great.
He was apparently he was a gentleman as well. He used to get very upset. If you call him fat.
Oh, right. I just thought you meant just generally speaking.
He would, yeah.
Very emotional
if you turn
guy.
around and be like, you're a fucking annoying cunt, he'd like cry, he'd get really annoyed.
Well, I mean, that is not nice to say to somebody. You can understand. You're a big fat annoying cunt. Oh, cheers.
Yeah, but he's the big Vader, big Van Vader, big evil guy, and he's sitting there being like, you called me a
Oh.
Sorry. Do you ever remember, towards the end of his run in WWF, when they didn't really want to work with him, Shawn Michaels didn't like him.
Why? Because he was old and big?
Because Shawn Michaels was pilled out and just being a cunt. Yeah. Do you remember worst Shawn Michaels phase?
Yes. Well, currently now that he's a cross-eyed bald Christian.
But
Cowboy.
They didn't want to use Vader anymore, so they just had him lose.
Uh-huh.
And they just had a segment where he broke down eating a bucket of chicken, going, maybe I am just a fat piece of shit.
Oh, wow.
And that was the segment.
And that's him done?
It was just a crying fat dude eating a bucket of chicken.
And he's one of the hardest wrestlers of all time, Big Vader.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever hear the backstage fight between him and Paul Orndorff?
No.
Paul Orndorff, who was in his...
Mr. Wonderful?
Mr. Wonderful, yeah. I'll say mid-50s.
So he's then had his wee weird arm thing going on. You heard that happened, Paul Orndorff? He had some
cerebral palsy?
No, he had an injury in his arm.
Yeah.
He couldn't, like one arm's totally jacked and the other's like a regular arm. It's pretty weird.
Same, bro.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe around that time. But Van Vader was complaining about something he had to be in work early and obviously, or he didn't like something. Didn't know what it was. But he came over and Paul Orndorff was like, will you fuck up? So Vader slapped him.
Uh-huh.
Paul Orndorff just fucking sparks him to the ground, knocks him down, and he's wearing sandals at the time, boots him in the fucking face repeatedly.
Who, Orndorff?
Yeah. He beat the fuck out of it. Just booted him in the fucking face until he stopped moving.
And then he cried. Any wonder Vader's backstage eating chicken and crying. He's fucking bullied.
But he's picked a fight with an old man and got his fucking bollocks rolled. Imagine backstage you square up to Tim McGarry. Tim McGarry hits you with a fucking elbow and then just knees you in the fucking...
Have some of that, you bastard. Who's to blame for me kicking the fuck out of you? You are Tim, you bastard.
Who's to blame for this cunt in an ambulance? But
Vader, see when he first came in.
I will see Tim McGarry beat the fuck out of you. Murph's in the background going, and
I don't know what to do. And he's like, fuck me up.
Is he phoning the witch doctor, is he? Who's to blame for the wing tang Talawala Bing Bang?
Fuck off, you.
Hey, Cole, the spin doctor. He told me what
the spin doctor?
Yeah, so he's politics joke for you.
That was good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Won the blame game 2 weeks. Go
when Vader?
Vader? So big fan, like Vader.
Whenever Vader came in the first, I remember I asked my dad, I was like, what's his real name? And he goes, I was like, Van Morrison. See what I mean? So is Ivan. And he was like, he's called Ivan Vader. I was like, it's the shittest name ever. And then looked up and he's talking shit. The big Ivan Vader.
His real name's Leon.
I know, like I was able, like once I was able to look that up, my dad just he's called Ivan Vader, and then he did a thing where he wore a mastodon mask. Do you remember that? He would just wear it was like
the big mastodon.
It was like a fucking
an
elephant with horns.
Yeah, it was and it would shoot steam.
Yeah,
it looked heavy as fuck.
Yeah, it was.
If you could say every time he took it off, he's like, thank fuck.
Yeah, because he's asthmatic too, big Ivan.
Yeah,
he's busted. Like, I didn't know he was so emotional.
Oh yeah, he would easily get his feelings hurt.
And he's
backstage.
dead too. Rest in peace.
Yeah, he only died not too long ago.
No, of a broken heart.
Do you remember he got arrested in Kuwait? He got arrested in Kuwait and left him there for like a month.
For doing what? Oh no.
So he does this interview with the Undertaker in Kuwait, where they're getting interviewed by like their equivalent of like Richard Madley. And this guy starts.
I mean, there's this girl like Borat.
Yeah.
Q80 Richard Madley.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm here. I am here with Vader.
So the guy's like, so wrestling fake? It's not real. Wrestling fake. And Leon's like, fake? Is this fucking fake? And just picks him up and slaps him. Now, you're not allowed to just bait people on TV in Kuwait. Mind the way, like, so while Vader's kicking the fuck out of this guy, the Undertaker's sitting there chewing tobacco with big sunglasses on, like, doesn't move. Despite WWE telling Vader to do that, they said if he says it's fake, hit him.
Yeah.
They left him once he got arrested. They're like, shouldn't have done that. And they left him in Kuwait for like a month. And then when he finally got out and came back, they did a big interview with him where JR's like, now you know you're not supposed to go out punching people. You do know that, you fucking big fat fucking idiot.
And he started crying again.
He did. He goes like, I'm sorry, I learned my lesson. I'm just a big fat piece of shit.
What it should have done was been the start of a new Expendables film. Just go to Kuwait to free Vader. And it'd be brilliant.
Undertaker, Los Boricuas.
Vader, Savio Vega. You know, all the original bad boys.
Ahmed Johnson.
The Godfather. Just all the worst and all with no knees. Any of them. Just all fucking old.
Are you ready for the next on the list?
Yes, I am.
So, this next guy, kind of famous, mentioned in the Stephen King book, It.
Okay.
His name is Haystacks Calhoun.
Haystack, not the giant haystacks?
No, he is on the list, but he's
right,
not there
okay.
yet. Haystacks Calhoun. He would be basically a big hillbilly. He would wear overalls and...
So if you're a fat guy, you're called a haystack? Is that the thing of back in the day?
Yeah, basically if you're a big guy with a beard, you're a haystack. So I think it's where giant haystacks kind of took inspiration from.
Right, okay.
He would normally team up with Happy Humphrey.
Happy Humphrey.
Who was a guy who looked like Humpty Dumpty.
Yes, I actually know about Happy Humphrey.
Do you know Happy Humphrey?
Yeah,
I don't know.
On the list, is he?
I don't. He is on the list. Yeah.
And what number is that number?
I'm not telling you what number. I'm not telling you what number Happy Humphrey's at.
Happy Humphrey.
Yeah. Happy Humphrey was quite a large guy. He was like a human game of hungry hippos.
Yeah, just hungry Humphreys. Who's
very large.
happy to be hungry.
Yep. So they would be a tag team that they would.
What were they called? The tag team? Happy Haystack, surely.
They would often lose matches, because they would lose via countdown because he couldn't get back in the ring. So you'd knock him out and he'd just be struggling on the apron.
Who, Haystacks Calhoun or Happy Humphrey?
Both of them. Both very large men that like couldn't get their knee up to the ring in time.
That's brilliant. So what was Calhoun's weight?
Do you want to hazard a guess?
625.
That's less than the last one, so it can't be that.
642.
That was what the last one was.
643.
658.
Jesus, these boys eat.
Yeah.
These boys eat.
And we are now officially halfway through the list.
Nice. So we got Haystacks Calhoun.
At a whopping 47 stone.
Wow, that is 47 stone, boys. That's what you get over there.
Sounds about right.
Wow. And I mean, are these guys heavier than Big Daddy V?
Yeah.
Because he's
Big Daddy V's not on this.
He's the fattest of all the bastards. So.
Do you know what made it worse for him? He took his shirt off. Now, whoever told him, do you know what looks really scary? A big fat dude in suspenders was wrong. Because he just looks like a big whippy ice cream.
Didn't he start off with that hamster guy, Mo, and they had the Men on the Mission? Like, Mo just looked like a hamster. Like, put a photo of Mo from Men on a Mission up here, and put a hamster there. Boom. One and the same. So
I can't think what he looks like.
Men on a Mission, they both had, like, white mohawks, and he was
I remember them, but I can't remember Mo.
Mo was just like Mo just looked like a regular fat dude, like not a very fat guy, just a chubby guy.
Yeah.
And then he hung around with Mabel, who was just like, and again, he started off wearing PJs, didn't he? And then,
he did. We soaked, and he was the world's largest love machine.
Right. And like Vince loves doing that, doesn't he? Making big fellas into sex perverts.
He loves making big ugly dudes being like, yeah, but your gimmick is all the women love you, and it's funny because obviously they don't, you stinking bitch.
Yeah, but then also the feedback that is you are very big, so perhaps you have quite a hog. That was always the thing with Visser. It's like, say what you want about him.
Do you remember his finishing move?
Pipe. Was it the flop on top of you when you were on the ground?
I can't remember what it was called, but basically just
a splash.
Bum you.
Oh, but what was that when he ran in and turned around and bummed you?
He would flip you around and just like thrust you on the
that
ground.
was when he was the love machine, wasn't
it?
it?
Yeah.
He didn't do that when he was Viscera?
No. He used to drop the leg, but he injured so many people. He broke the Undertaker's orbital bone.
That's right. And the Royal Rumble, was that?
Yep. He also injured Diesel.
Oh, yes, Kevin
Have you
Nash.
ever seen the story where Kevin Nash is backstage? So we do this thing where he'd stand over you, kick his legs out, land on your back. Kevin Nash like, you don't kick your legs out. You're going to break my back. Don't kick your fucking legs out. I'm telling you now, do not kick your fucking legs out when you're over my back. I have a bad back. Do not kick your legs out. By 5 minutes in the match, Visser just kicks his legs out and near breaks his back.
Yeah.
And Diesel was like, I fucking told you not, you fucking stupid cunt. He would have got fired. He almost got fired for that.
But why didn't he? Because he was such a
Because Diesel didn't want it. Like, Vince got fired him. Diesel said, no, don't fire him.
But then, what was his story to go from being Mabel into being Viscera? Because then he joined him in... Did they
joined him? They abducted him
into a van or something?
They basically put him into a van, then he came out wearing a big bin bag with that wide eye contact lenses.
Yeah, with his contact lens in. Because then he got the Midian as well. He was just like a fucking pig farmer.
He was Dennis Knight.
No, but was he not a pig farmer? One of those boys? The Godwin?
He was Phineas I. Godwin.
Yeah, Phineas Godwin. Then they bumped him in there. You're not Phineas anymore. You're Midian.
You're Midian, which I don't know what a Midian or
no, but I know what a viscera is.
What's a viscera?
Viscera is like your insides when you get eviscerated. So, like a viscera is like your organs when they get pulled out of your body.
Is that real?
Yeah, isn't it? Isn't that what viscera means? Like a visceral matter. Yeah,
I know what visceral means. Very vivid imagery.
Yeah, I think it's just a thing to do with like eviscerating.
Whoever told him no, it would be good. Just take your shirt off and you let those giant marshmallow tits flop.
But he had nice tattoos of sundials and all. So
yeah, but you couldn't see them because they're underneath his fucking nipples.
But how did someone decide to bring him back and not call him like his real name? Why did they go Big Daddy V?
Oh my God,
he would do this.
Here he is, Nelson.
Yeah. But he would do that, and then it would just be like, oh no, V's coming. And wasn't his like entrance music like King Kong type stuff? It was like
it was like a wee beat behind it.
But then there was like you could hear the helicopters and like noise of police and all. I was like, oh no, he's coming! Here he comes, Big Daddy V.
What, in the 1940s?
Here he comes!
Here comes down the road, folks.
Big Daddy Vagina. You know? And then he was just
you make him sound like the worst Doctor Who monster ever.
Yeah, Big Daddy Vagina.
He's got bum the Doctor.
I mean, that'd be 10 out of 10 if the Time Lord had an enemy called Big Daddy Vagina. I would watch Doctor Who. That'd make me laugh a lot. And he's not on the list. He weighed what, like 500?
He was about 450, I think.
Light man, just a little.
Light in his feet, could run. Number 5.
Yes.
A famous one of ours, and he's actually from here.
From here?
Yeah.
Where's here?
Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland. Finlay.
No, Finley's not up there. You know Finley's not up there.
Because he was fit, not fat. Fat Finlay would be a great name for a fat guy from here.
It's just him. He's lost the run of himself.
Fat Finlay, yeah.
My name is Finlay, and I love to eat. This is Burger King Forest Side. I come here for a Whopper with my father every day.
And he also loves to fight.
This is Cosmos, Victoria Square. That's what I want to see, Fat Finlay. Giant Haystacks, the legendary Giant Haystacks. He was big in the 80s and 90s, famous for his rivalry with
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy Shirley Crabtree.
Have you ever heard? Oh, he was called something as well. Was he called Luke for a while? Like on something Luke?
No, he was called Loch Ness. He wasn't called Luke.
No, but it's like he had another character. Luke McMaster was another name instead of Giant Haystacks.
That sounds like a guy that was in your class.
I know,
getting mixed up.
But he went by that. His real name wasn't Luke McMaster, but that was like, you know, when people would call The Rock, just while we're talking about him.
Yeah.
They call him Luke McMaster, and I
think you've misheard because his name was Loch Ness Monster.
No, but it was also, but this is true, I'll tell you why.
Unless he was called Luke Ness Monster.
No, that would be a good pun, but he was known as Luke McMaster for a while, and William Regal told this story about him, and he said, like, one of the funniest things is one of the best I actually think it was on Chris Jericho's podcast, and William Regal was on it, and he was talking about, like, growing up on the British scene, and he was like, obviously you'd know these guys like Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks, you'd see them as these big ferocious characters, and he said, you know, it was so weird being in the dressing room with them, because he said, like, you just hear them chatting, and he said that Big Daddy would always call Giant Haystacks Luke, and Giant Haystacks would always call Big Daddy Daddy. And he said there's one time he was just listening to them having a conversation. He said he'd always do this thing when they talk, they go, ooh. So he said he heard a conversation about Giant Haystacks getting into trouble with his missus, and he was like, he came in one day and he's like, oh, he goes in the William Regal's voice, he was like, oh, what's wrong with you, Daddy? And he goes, oh, Luke. He's like, look, you won't believe what happened to me. And he goes, oh, tell me, Daddy. And he goes, oh, I got home last night and my wife had made me a delicious cake, and she said, Daddy, do you want some of that cake? And I said, oh, I'll have a bit of the cake. Oh, she goes, okay. And I ate a piece of the cake, and oh, it was delicious. And he says, and then what happened to you then, Daddy? And he goes, oh, look, I tried some of it, I put it in the fridge, I couldn't get it out of my mind the whole night. It's delicious cake. I was sneaking up to bed and I thought to myself, oh, I'll have a bit more of this cake. And I said, I creeped down the stairs. I finished the whole lot, Luke. And he goes, oh, no, Daddy, you didn't. He goes, oh, I did. He goes, you're a naughty Daddy. Like, that was just the strangest thing. And he was
carry on being a fat cunt.
So he was just like going, like, I was these two legends, hardcore guys.
Big, like,
and they're just two fat guys talking about eating their wife's cakes.
You wouldn't believe it, I fucking had
oh,
that.
No, oh, Daddy.
Oh, you're a naughty Daddy.
Yeah,
do you know what John Haystack... Do you remember John Haystack's body slam, Jackie Fuller?
Oh.
We've watched it, but...
Oh, but he did it. He stiffed him so
broke
bad.
His fucking spine.
And Jackie Fuller tries to take it, and he's lying on the ground. Oh, well. Oh.
Haley.
Yeah. Before he's even born, Haley. Oh, heal me. Oh. But he was...
Do you know what he weighed?
Oh, Daddy. I was going to go and say...
You're a naughty
691.
686, you were close. My phone's almost dead, so I can't go back up
Uh-huh.
to the weight thing. Otherwise, I'll lose the list.
No problem.
But that's got to be about 49 stone.
That's 49 bang on.
I am the metric man. What do you weigh?
I weigh 50 stone. But I mean, why not push himself? Why not push himself for that extra stone? You're 49, push to 50, fatty.
Because he's struggling to fucking breathe sitting down.
Oh, look, eat some more cake. Look, I'll bring him some. Oh, go to 50.
Oh, you. I got just
you
you
bad daddy.
Oh, you naughty daddy.
Naughty daddy. Oh.
Sounds like some BBW porn with these guys.
Yeah, some ASMR. Yeah. Oh, you're a naughty daddy.
Naughty daddy eats full cake.
Yeah.
It's him in his wee singlet. Like.
I mean, there you go, guys. If ASMR is what we're going to get into, bring me a cake and I'll eat it. Oh, and you just call me a naughty daddy and I'll eat it.
You please call your next show the Naughty
The
Daddy?
Naughty Daddy. I would have clientele and I would not want at that show. Just all secret perverts.
Those guys who go to the porn shop around the back of Castle Court.
Yeah, and then leave just all flustered. Because they've been wanking.
Next on the list is our boy, the one we want to talk about.
On Mark Henry.
Yokozuna. We literally... What?
Yokozuna.
Did you get dementia with this podcast?
Yes, mate. Yokozuna. All, what's his
Why'd
name?
you just turn Spanish? Yokozuna, hola.
What did you do there?
You literally went.
Oh,
You went Yokozuna, hola.
hola, Yokozuna.
Hola, chunky daddy.
Oh, he was a big fat lump, wasn't he?
He was at his heaviest. You know what he was at his heaviest?
536
He can't be that because the ones below him have been heavier than that, so he can't be that.
689.
No.
700 pounds?
More.
Jesus Christ. 707?
More.
Tell me.
750. Now, towards the WWE never wanted to fire him.
Yeah.
They tried to get him to lose weight all the fucking time. He wouldn't do it. He had a really bad eating addiction. One time they sent him to like weight loss camps.
Yeah.
He would sneak food in.
But what I loved about that, they sent him to lose weight. But the deal was, like, we will only allow you to wrestle if you're 400 pounds.
Yes.
Still huge.
Yeah.
But he's like, nah.
And he's like, he wanted to break 800.
He
wanted.
Fair play to him. Fair fucks him. He should have spoken to Luke.
Not fair fucks to him. He died at 34.
Yeah, but he should have said to Luke, listen, I want to be 800. You should at least push yourself to be 50 stone, mate. You're letting the side down here.
He's not letting the side down. He's letting his side of the ring down because it's fucking folding under him.
Yokozuna wasn't like out of everybody we've had in that list, bar probably Andre the Giant's obviously, but he's in the Hall of Famer.
He was an outstanding wrestler. He was great, but he would literally just eat fried chicken by the fucking bucket.
And he was he Samoan or Hawaiian?
He was Samoan.
Yeah,
maybe a bit Hawaiian. But he certainly wasn't Japanese.
Yeah, I know, but they liked to bill him. And then did they hang around that other wee Japanese dude, Mr. Fuji?
Mr. Fuji? Yeah. Mr. Fuji?
He was a dirty wee bastard. He used to throw chalk in your eyes.
His gimmick looking back was racist as fuck, because his gimmick was he was a sneaky Japanese guy. And he would just sit in the background and be like, ha 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 ha, and throw salt at people.
Did he have a wee bowler hat and all too?
He did, like, because he looked like,
Oddjob?
Oddjob.
Brilliant.
That's how he looked, and he would throw salt at people.
Because that's how Yoko lost the Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 9, wasn't it?
Just fuck salt in his eyes.
Yeah, and he ducked, and then Hogan hit him with the atomic leg drop.
The leg drop, yeah.
Brother.
So yeah, Yokozuna, 750. He died. I think his last match was Heroes of Wrestling.
Oh, the worst ever pay-per-view.
And we'll talk about that last week's episode. But yeah, have you ever seen him at that? He's in dreadlocks.
Does he have a wee bit of a beard? He just looks like he hasn't been fucked.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. He looks rough. I think it's just a few weeks before he gets the pneumonia that kills him.
Can we pop a wee picture up of old Yoko in his prime here so people can see prime Yokozuna? No. All right. Well, Google him and then you'll get it. And then Google him at Heroes of Wrestling and you'll see him.
He looked rough.
Fattest.
He looked like me towards the end with his eyes. He just had serious bags.
You?
He had wee bags under his eyes now.
I mean, I'm going to say you aren't 750 pounds. I'm sure you look worse than you.
Not yet, but don't know.
No, imagine you're like, after this podcast, I got really motivated.
Imagine I weighed myself and I weighed like 900 pounds, but I just carried it really well. It'd be very surprising.
I'd like to know the heaviest man in the world who carries it well. That's a talent you'd like to see. You know, someone like
how guess my weight? 72 stone. Fuck off.
You're like, no, I swear. And then they get in the scales. Whoa.
Yeah. And everyone thinks he's like 15.
So the fattest, the number one. Is there any honorary mentions of fat boys?
We still have 3 more to go.
3 more?
We have 3 more to go.
Jesus.
We're getting into
I feel like your man from the that promo.
Look at these wobbly bastards.
No, do you remember that one? He goes, what are you doing? What am I blind? Jesus! I'm like,
Zandig?
I can't believe it's Zandig. Yeah.
Number 3 sounds like a UDA paramilitary, and he looks like one too.
Please tell me.
You tell me this doesn't look like the biggest fucking loyalist ever. Billy McGuire.
Billy the debt collector McGuire. Yeah, he does. He actually looks like that's like a photo. You know, they have when we square the papers. Like they arrested 7 paramilitaries. He looks like
he is all 7 of the paramilitaries.
Billy McGuire. And that's a good name. What's your gimmick? Just Billy McGuire.
He was his brother Benny. They were the big fat twins. Do you know the big fat twins that would ride motorcycles? They looked exactly like them.
But then, so they were both 2 BFBs, big fat boys, and they were like
they're basically if the hairy bikers wrestled. It's these guys
with obesity. Yeah, because they are. So how heavy were they both? What are they both? Their combined weight's big, isn't it?
Well, Billy alone is 784.
Wow. And
his brother Benny is at number 2.
All right.
With 814.
Oh, wow.
Now my phone has just died, but luckily I remember who number 1 is.
That's an expensive grocery bill for their ma, for sure.
Oh no, I think they just ate her. at birth. They weren't given birth to. They just ate their way out.
Ate their way
like
out,
Alien.
Yeah. And just like ate all the skin off. Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of gross.
So 784 and 814 pounds. That's a combined weight of 1,015 pounds.
And those boys still kicking about? Or are they dead too?
No, they're dead, mate. Everyone on this list is dead.
Oh, it's a shame because you know what? See, nowadays we live in a world where people like Lizzo are saying it's good to be fat.
Yeah.
You need to own your fatness.
Yeah, look at Billy and Benny
Look at Billy
Maguire.
and Benny Maguire. You know, those two guys, if they dropped it down low, they wouldn't get back up again. But they died when they were 30.
Yeah.
So, hey,
Yeah.
Lizzo,
They died because they choked on their own neck fat.
go to
They're
body
fucking
pump.
gross,
That's what I'm
man.
saying. Go to body pump, Lizzo. You shouldn't be having, if you're going to sleep at night, you shouldn't have to attach yourself to a machine to breathe. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's vibing or not,
Yeah.
Lizzo.
I don't want
Lose
to see
weight.
Benny Maguire feeling good as hell.
No, I want I do, but I want to see him on a kale diet. I want to see him on being able to walk.
Now, number one,
Number one we know of him, Happy Humphrey.
Happy Humphrey.
Did you tell him his gimmick for a while was the human egg?
No, I just called him the human
right,
egg.
okay.
He looked
I
like
thought that
Humpty.
was
He
from-
looked like Humpty Dumpty.
From the dairy farm, weighing in at, what is his weight?
Have a guess. Heaviest wrestler ever.
What did I say, 800?
And this is his heaviest wrestling weight. Well, Bennett, right. I will explain to you one more time how this system works. If Benny Maguire was 814, then that means number one can't be
Well,
800.
according to my stats, he was 57 stone, 802 pounds. So how come we're...
At his highest wrestling weight, that's
Well,
not true.
Oh, what was his highest wrestling weight?
Nine-
800 and... What?
900 pounds.
Converter boys, what's 900 pounds in stone? That got to be, what, 62 stone? His phone's died, so he's no like...
I'd say about 63 stone.
64 stone.
64 Zoo Lane stone. That's fucking ridiculous.
But you know what? There's a good news about Happy Humphrey.
That's 5 stone off being really sexy.
There's good news. Good news for Happy Humphrey. He retired when he was quite young.
Yeah.
And I think they put him into a fat asylum for fat people. They just said, you're too fat. They fucked him in a fat asylum and he lived off a diet of 1,000 calories a day and he lost a lot of weight. And he got down, I think, to like 200
So that's not the story I had. I had the story that he died in his trailer park at like 900 pounds.
No, well, I found out...
We have very
Can you
different
guys
stories.
try to verify what happened to the Eggman?
Can we get Happy Humphrey in here?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go. And what's he doing today? Dead. No, Happy Humphrey lived till he's 102. So let's see what happened.
Happy Humphrey went on to be the vicar of Dibley.
See if there's any more fat asylums kicking about these days, because I could do a couple of weeks there.
Honestly, I think that's the only thing that helped me lose weight would be lock me in a room and feed me nothing but bread
see
and
if you
water.
put me into a room and you fed me what I should eat and told me I could go on the exercise bike and like do body pump in a swimming pool.
Yeah,
I'd be down.
that's my problem with gaining weight. Free will and accountability. Fuck that shit.
Say what you want about Joseph Fritzl.
Yeah.
Good shape.
Say what you want about Stalin. Not a lot of fat cunts in the USSR.
No.
man.
But I mean,
There was no obesity in Serbia.
True. You know, maybe that's how they should sell concentration camps. Replace concentration with fat.
All right, Kanye.
You know, say to people off there, listen, they're going to this fat camp and then they come out skinny or dead. But either way, it's better than being fat. Fuck you, Lizzo.
Yeah, but Happy Humphrey, 900 pounds.
Yeah.
Got this stage, they couldn't let him wrestle anymore. The Athletic State Commission was just like, no.
And then they put him in the fat asylum. Dan, you look like you've got some info on Happy Humphreys.
He went to a fat asylum.
Hey! And what weight did he get down to? Do you know?
Wow. All it says is 1,000 calories a day. Doesn't give what weight he got down
He
to.
said doesn't give a fuck.
Oh,
I love that. 1,000 calories a day. Don't give a fuck.
232 pounds.
232 pounds.
That's what he got down
He
to.
got down to when he died in 1989. He weighed over 600.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Happy Humphreys. But to be fair, that's like Ricky Hatton. Doop, 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 doop. He's up and he's down. You know?
Ricky Hatton has never weighed in at 900 pounds. No, imagine Ricky Hatton at a boxing press conference. I'm ready to fight.
But Happy Humphreys is like the Grand Old Duke of York of fat men. You know,
Right,
he's up and he's down, he's up and he's down.
The Grand Old Duke of York, he weighed 10,000
The
pounds.
Grand Old Duke of Yorkies. And see, when he died, can you tell us, instead of what weight he was, how many years
He ate.
had?
How many years he had?
How old was he, for fuck's sake?
62.
That's good for a fat bastard, isn't it?
He almost made it to his age in stone.
I know. Alex.
Imagine being like, how old are you? And the same as away. That gets more depressing with each year that passes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm actually way older than I am. Wait, shit. I might try to do that. Try and hit that up a bit.
No, don't
try
do
and hit
that.
it up.
No, don't.
Like the boys.
Don't, I don't want to see you hit 40 stone, Dave.
I know. I could probably could.
No, don't. I don't.
See if I started now. Could I get the 40 stone in 4 years?
I imagine.
Probably not. Actually,
I can't imagine
hard.
your wife would be too happy with it.
Yeah, but if I got fucking bought up by one
especially
of those
if you start,
freak show
especially if you start calling yourself Happy Davy and you're just
I know, maybe that's
43 stone.
Zen Davy, just traveling around fat.
Davy,
I know. Listen, let's finish off the episode with a wee tell me when to stop.
Stop.
One appropriate place to stop. By 2013, there are an estimated 18,000 KFC locations in 118 countries.
Why the fuck is that the Tom Smith book?
One appropriate way to wrap this up, guys. Listen, this has been probably one of my favourite episodes.
It's been great. We
of
enjoyed
the
talking about
Are You Ready
boys.
podcast. I would say
R.I.P. to all the fat boys we mentioned.
What I want to say to people too, see if you're listening to the podcast, wherever you listen, wherever you get it, subscribe to it so you can get the updates every week. Because the podcast doesn't come out every week. It comes out every 2 weeks. And if you want to engage with it, send us questions, whatever you want to know. Get in touch because it's been a lot of fun. And I'm going to go now and just eat a lot of calories to try and get 40 by 40.
You're going to be in the next episode. You're just going to be heavy as fuck.
Yeah, or dead. The next episode I'll just be... I mean, Christmas is coming up. It's a good bulking season. You know, if you want to look at the advance.
Christmas is a couple of weeks back.
Oh, hey, listen. Christmas is a few weeks back. I bulked.
You're like that fucking... that calendar advert that comes out. You're going for Christmas 2023.
Yeah, I'm going for
already.
2023 40 by 40. Follow my journey at my new Instagram page. Send
Follow my
40 by 40.
journey.
It's
just you in a bed full of rappers.
I know Kanye, Snoop Dogg, all just feeding me fucking celebrations.
Just popping Ferrero Rochers in your mouth like they're grapes.
And DJ Khaled, another one.
No, he'd eat them and fuck himself. You have the rest of that cunt to get them.
Oh.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Or 2 weeks.
Or whatever. I'm fucking...